Mixing paint colours to a perfect match. How hard can it be? Oh, that's bad. Totally messed it up. Harder than I expected. Not even close. That's disappointing. I'm taking on the colour matching challenge that Jazza tried last week because it has been scientifically proven that women see colours more accurately than men. Is that true? Well, that's pretty close. 98%. No way! Wonder if I have that fourth rod thing that they talk about some people have. No, we have to do more. I'm hooked now. I have been wanting to try this challenge ever since I first saw Chris Breyer and Fritz Does Art doing these amazing color mixing videos on Instagram and TikTok. Except I'm not a painter. I know nothing about paint. I've bought my first set of oil paints today and I've never tried mixing colors other than layering my pencils or whatever we did layering basic paints back in school. And Jazza did well at this. He set the bar pretty high for me today. So I'll pop a link to his video in the description if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Off to a good start. I haven't even started and my hands are a mess. All right, we're going to start with this color. Okay, Evening Fizz. So, putting my color theory into practice is a lot harder than just knowing the color theory. So we want to go a bit lighter and a bit more gray. So we need to think opposite end of the color wheel. Let's grab the tiniest little bit of red and some white and see what that does. This is where the perfectionist in me is going to shine. You know, I'm not going to stop until I'm convinced that it's 100%. So today is a challenge in a few ways. The first challenge is figuring out how to make the right mix of colors to create the color that I want. And my past experience in this is basically zero. I want to add a touch of yellow, but I'm nervous. I don't know what it'll do. I don't really know. It feels like it'll help. The second challenge is to know when we found our match, because sometimes a color can look like a perfect match in its surroundings until you actually put the colors side by side. And this is hopefully where the science is on my side. All right, the yellow is helping. The yellow is graying this up a bit. Is it a word? Green? Neuroscientists have discovered that women are better than men at distinguishing between subtle variations in color. I mean, I was team white and gold, so that's not working in my favor right now. But according to science, I should be able to get a higher score than Jazza. And that is my entire goal of this video. All right, I think we're just gonna have to go for that now. Are you ready? Oh, that's pretty close. That's a pretty good match, if I say so myself. If my score's higher than Jazza's on my first attempt, do we just stop the video here? Or... All right, let's see how close it actually was.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Which is at 99%.
First attempt. No way! Sorry, momentary brag. I didn't know that was possible to get that. So that was supposed to be my big climactic ending. Now there's nowhere to go but downhill. All right, next color. Shane, you're gonna have to pick this one.
Oh,
Right.
I like the orange.
I've got so much blue in my yellow here, so let's get a big scoop of yellow. I don't know about quantities, but we'll just see what this gets us. That's way too red. We need way more yellow. There's just so much red in this. I think I need to start over with a new sample and work from that color. Now that I've like got 99%, I feel like I can't settle for anything less. Like I don't really know how to get this one better, but I just can't stop now because it has to be perfect. All right, I think I'm just gonna have to go for it. It's not as close, but we'll just, almost has like a slight fluoro to it that's maybe where I couldn't quite get it. How did we go?
98%.
98%. Still pretty good. You know I have to do two. If I can't swatch this, then all hope is lost. Oh, I feel more pressure on this one. Blue. Which green? Which green? This green? Ah, that feels too dark. Let's see what this gives us as a starting point. Oh, that's a really nice starting point. This is getting further and further away from what I want. Don't tell me it's going to be teal that breaks me. Ooh, here we go. So I bought a cerulean blue, which is the closest I could find to a cyan, because without cyan, I'm not sure that I can get this right teal out of my normal blue. Is that cheating? It's close, but it's like not. The problem is I want it brighter, not lighter. Getting closer. It's too dark. I just don't know if I can get it closer. I want it to be perfect and it's not. My version is too grey. I can see it. I can see that mine is more grey and that it just needs to be a little bit lighter, and like maybe if I add a little bit more yellow and a little bit more white, it might get there, but it's risky. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's getting grey. I think we're just gonna have to call it. Oh, that was way off. It was so grey. Oh, I knew it was too grey. No, it was the teal. The teal ruined me. Okay, it's time to level up. While it's a challenge to match a colour perfectly to a flat colour swatch card, that's not the hardest challenge that Jazza took on in his video. So it's time to enter the third dimension. I thought this would be easier than it is, but there's a reason I prefer to draw things from a reference photo than from real life, and that's because lighting and shadows change how we perceive colour so much that matching a colour on a 3D shape is a much bigger challenge. I know this isn't a perfect colour match, but I just can't seem to get closer to the colour I want. That is too light. It's not bad. It's not great. Leaf is next. See if I can fix the leaf. Feeling good about this one.
Is a 98%.
Oh, it's so close. I wonder if when it dries that would be different. I'm trying to only use the primary colours, but this is hard. There's too many variations in my skin. Yeah, I can tell that's way off. Not even close. Wow, that's pretty bad. All right, Shane, what else have we got? Whoa, there's 4 of these.
Do you want a knife to cut it down?
Yeah.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Wouldn't want to waste half a good donut. Why do we even have a knife that big? All right, our pink icing. This is a perfect time to ask the question, why is there no magenta in this set? When I was shopping for paints today, I noticed that it was impossible to find a set of paints that included cyan, magenta, and yellow as the primary colors. Now, I'm not a painter, but every set that I could find comes with red, blue, and yellow, and cyan and magenta were rarely available even on their own. This doesn't make sense to me. Printers use cyan, magenta, yellow, and black because these capture the most colors possible without needing to add other primary colors. And this is different to the primary colors for light, which are red, green, and blue, which is what your computers use. And I'll spare you a lengthy video about the debate between the color wheels because I have already got a video about that if you're interested. But in theory, CMYK produces a much bigger range of colors than red, blue, and yellow. So why don't more painters use it? I've been looking into this and I can't find a clear answer other than it's just how things have always been done. And a color like magenta simply hasn't existed for as many years as some of the other colors. In practice, painters rarely use just 3 colors and it would be so inefficient to do so. It makes more sense to have 6 or 12 colors to mix from, especially when certain colors might be cheaper to produce as their own pigments instead of mixing from more expensive materials every time. When it comes to paint, paints, if you are going to limit yourself to 3 colours, you're going to get a much bigger range of colours from CMY than from RYB. But any 3 colours will still limit the range of colours you can produce, which is why most painters use 6 or 12 base colours and mix the rest from there. All right, let's try this out. This feels like such a shame to put this on the donut. It's promising. Not quite dark enough. Should I try and match the base as well? At this point, my colours are running out. I'm mixing colours that I don't intend to, and I'm getting tired. So I think I've hit my limit for learning a new skill for the day. Just drag green into this. Totally messed it up. I don't have enough yellow to recover it, so this is just, I've destroyed it. So the objects are a little bit harder than the swatches, it turns out. But if there's one thing we've established, it's that I need to finally learn how to paint. I'm doing it. I'm going to learn to paint right here with you. So make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on to join me for that experience in just a few weeks. Okay, I need one more thing to color match. Where's the cat? Do you think we can color match you? The purring says yes. All right, how are we gonna do this, cat? I've got to put your paw out. Bit of black, bit of white, touch a little bit of brown, a little touch of blue, a little more white. Paw out, perfect, thank you. So did I do better than Jazza? Or was it just beginner's luck? You got 2 different tones going. Well, when it comes to actually using the oil paints, he is definitely a mile ahead and even tried making his own oil paints in a recent video. So please go and check out his channel and tell him that I said hi. All right, cat, pour out. Ah. You're a bit more grey. You're getting old. But I think I did pretty well today for a first effort, and this was a lot of fun. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos like this.
98%.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Moscow, we found a match for your colour! Yay! High five! Don't leave me hanging, cat. Yeah!